Welcome to This Explainer. Today, we're unpacking the raw, emotional journey behind the song You Never Left Me. We're going to objectively map out the lyrics to see exactly how this narrative moves from a place of deep isolation to ultimate assurance, and discover how the song builds such a powerful emotional impact. I was lost inside the silence, trying hard to find my way. Think about that imagery for a second. It's not just about losing your sense of direction, right? It's complete sensory deprivation. Being inside the silence immediately grounds us in a profound, heavy isolation. It's an exhausting starting point that, honestly, many of us know all too well when we're navigating difficult times alone.
Section 1. Lost in the Silence.
Notice the stark contrast used right out of the gate here. On one hand, the speaker's internal state is described as wandering far and searching in the dark. But the immediate external response of a divine presence? It's the exact opposite. They are never far and actually finding the speaker in the distance. It's this beautiful spatial metaphor showing that a feeling of being hopelessly far away is countered by a presence that just effortlessly bridges the gap.
And this builds into a really specific, relatable cycle of human frailty. The lyrics outline a clear progression of exhaustion, carrying heavy burdens, trying desperately to hide the fear, and just enduring the struggle. It's a loop of self-reliance that simply isn't working. The song deliberately paints this heavy picture of frailty because the darker this initial struggle is, the more impactful the coming comfort is going to be.
Which brings us to Section 2, Mercy in the Valley.
There is mercy in the middle of my breaking. Wow. The song positions comfort to arrive exactly at the point of maximum human weakness, not after the speaker has magically fixed themselves, but literally right in the middle of the breaking. The entire narrative hinges on this idea that intervention happens precisely when human strength runs out.
You really see this dynamic play out when you compare the two realities. The human condition, the weakness, the breaking, the valleys, is met with absolute, unwavering constancy, being held every single day, a face that never turns away. It's a striking message of an unconditional relationship. The negative variables on the human side absolutely do not alter the positive constants on the other.
Moving into Section 3. The gift of grace. The lyrics state, I don't have to earn your presence. I don't have to prove my place. Let's crystallize what that means. In this context, grace is defined as a presence you absolutely do not have to earn or prove your place for. This is the pivot point of the speaker's emotional restoration. That earlier exhaustion, the carrying, the hiding, it's completely dismantled here. The pressure is finally off.
And that leads straight into this profound realization: you have written out my story in the power of your grace. Notice how this completely flips the agency. Back at the beginning, the speaker was, trying hard to find my way. Now, they realize the story's already written. It shifts the emotional state from frantic searching to trusting in a totally secure narrative. It's a huge release of tension.
The text just keeps hitting us with this contrast to reinforce the point. You've got these unpredictable variables, changing seasons or a heart that is weak, but the response is always the same, faithful, steady. This foundation remains rock solid, even when our internal emotions fluctuate and external circumstances go completely sideways. It's totally independent of the speaker's environment.
Section 4. A steady foundation.
The way the lyrics construct this overwhelming sense of security is brilliant. It uses this rapidly escalating list of attributes. It starts super intimate, a healer in hidden places. Then it expands to the mind, peace beyond sight. Then out to life's chaos, Lord above situations, until it hits the absolute highest scale, king above everything. And finally, the ultimate anchor, a steady foundation. These titles stack up so fast to completely crowd out that initial fear and silence we talked about.
Which brings the lyrical arc to its big resolution. Every step before me is already held in your hands. That initial terror of the unknown is entirely replaced with total assurance. The future isn't this dark, silent place to get lost in anymore. It's a path that has already been secured.
Now, the song makes one final, really mature point about trusting beyond our own perception. The lyrics explicitly address our human limitations, admitting when I don't understand it and when I can't feel a thing. But the divine reality counters that. You are good, and you are near. What the text is saying is that goodness and proximity exist completely independent of human feeling or understanding. Essentially, you don't actually have to feel it for it to be true.
And that brings us to the culmination of the journey. Jesus, you are still my foundation. Jesus, you are all I need. This repetition at the very end is where the speaker explicitly names the source of their unearned comfort. After traveling from the silent dark through the breaking valley and experiencing that grace, the speaker plants their flag right here. It is the ultimate arrival point.
By mapping the anatomy of this lyrical comfort, we actually tap into a deeply universal human experience, don't we? That core desire to be found, known, and held when we are just utterly exhausted. So, as we wrap up this explainer, I want to leave you with this to ponder. How do we find our way and discover peace beyond what we can see during our own changing seasons? It's definitely a profound thought to take away. Thanks for joining me, and keep looking for the structure behind the stories we tell